What up, y'all? My name is The Sheep, and this is the Underground Sound, the podcast for your mom's ass. And today, we got a great interview with indie wrestling star Bryan Skyline. Bryan's one of my favorite people in the wrestling business. He's got a lot of great stories about his days in professional wrestling, as well as what he's up to nowadays. He's going to talk all about when he got started in Dan Severn's wrestling school. He's going to talk all about his career with UPW and his falling out with the wrestling business in general and why he left. We're going to talk about CM Punk. We're going to talk about MMA. We're going to talk about everything in between. It's going to be a great show. We had a great conversation, and I'm happy to bring it to you. Check it out right now. The Underground Sound, the podcast for your mom's ass. Bryan Skyline, indie wrestler. Check it out. Tassels. Woo! Indie wrestling superstar, wrestler, however you want to be preferred, Bryan Skyline. How you doing today, Bryan?
Hey, Chief, how you doing, man? Long time no talk.
Right, yeah, dude, it's been a while. Were you were not at the show that I was at the end, or were you? Did I see there? It was about a year ago.
Was that the one where the table just refused to break?
Yes, yeah, that's the one.
That wasn't that show.
So, have you still been working quite a bit lately, or
no? No. Last match I had was July 31st in Waters v. Michigan for Underlife Entertainment, and I have not wrestled since.
Right on. Well, I definitely want to get into that and see, what's going on with you at this point. But I want to go back and talk about, the beginning here. Were you always a wrestling fan, like when you were a kid and stuff, or was that something that came later?
Yeah, pretty much was. Like, I remember being like 4 or 5 and like the old bunny ears on the, UHF sort of TV, kind of picking up like some random, like I'm pretty sure it's either Superstars or WWF Wrestling Challenge or something. I vaguely remember that, but it wasn't until I was like really about, I'd say about 10 or 11 years old that was my best friend at that time. He had moved away with his mom. She went to go to school or whatever, and whenever he come back to visit his dad, he would bring back wrestling tapes from Mr. Munchie's in Escanaba. I'm not sure if you remember that place.
Oh, yeah. It used to be next to a Little Caesars.
Yeah. And it was like, that's when I kind of got into it, like, pretty hardcore because, like, he's my best friend, so if he likes it, I gotta like this too. And then, like, eventually, another one of my friends later down the road, like, his dad was a big wrestling fan, so, like, whenever I stay at his house, wherever we watch, like, WCW Power Hour Saturday mornings and WCW Saturday night at night, Sunday night main event, whatever was on, and like I just kind of got hooked and whatnot.
Did you ever try to watch the pay-per-views through back when it was like you could still kind of see it through the scramble? Like it was all scrambled out, but you could still kind of make out who was who and what was going on if you like squinted your eye and turned your head a certain way?
No, not really. My hometown is Crystal Falls. To put this into perspective, like just this past summer, finally had the option to bundle cable and internet as an option. Back then, like I remember we tried calling for I think like the 1993 SummerSlam pay-per-view, and they're like, "There's no such thing as pay-per-view" or something like that. So like we never really had that much of an option. People had to dilate this stuff.
Wow.
At that time.
I didn't know it was that.
Some people had like the really gigantic ones. Do you remember those things from back in the day? But yeah.
The satellite dishes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that primitive up there because, I mean, I'm from the UP too. When I grew up in Escanaba and we had, cable and stuff. I mean, Escanaba's pretty, I guess, modern compared to where you grew from, hey?
Yeah, well, you gotta understand, like here's the thing about Crystal Falls. I was talking about the whole cable thing. Like, 15 miles away, Iron River from us, like, had, like, extensive, like, charter cable, and Iron Mountain was, like, 30 miles. Like, Crystal Falls and their little part of Iron County, like, really put themselves in a bubble pretty much. So like everything, like, even to this day, it's still kind of that way. Yeah. So like it was very very backwoods, to say the least.
Right on. So when you got older, was wrestling something that you got into when you were in high school? Were you a wrestler in high school or a jock of any kind, or what did you do in high school?
I tried a little amateur wrestling. We had like a little co-op program, but like it, wasn't pro wrestling, so I kind of like lost interest in it. But like, I was definitely a jock. Like I played like, from fifth grade through my senior year. I played pretty much every sport, depending on what season it was. For the most part, it was football, basketball, baseball, track and field. Never competitively played golf. I would do that. We played tennis, just whatever. So, like I said, small town, like not much to do. So like we had some courts and whatnot. So and we would just, play whatever we were feeling at that time. Like sometimes in the summertime, like we'd be bored, then we watch Sandlot or something, and then we'd go play baseball, or we watch Little Giants, go play football, or Space Jam, we go play basketball,
Were the jocks more your type of crowd then back then?
No, I don't know. Like I was kind of a get along guy. Like I got along with, obviously jocks. I was a pretty decent athlete, but I was also, which, I look back now is why I became kind of a wrestler. I was kind of got along with like the creative types, the stoner types. Go figure on that one, right?
Right, because that was more my crowd, and that's why I'm always curious to see like who people were in high school, and if you were the type of person I would have crossed paths with. Because I never really got along with the jocks all that much. I was like the stoner burnout type, artsy.
Right. Like I always, me, like looking back on it, like I sort of see like, oh wow, like I wish I would have done a little bit more of that, but like because I was in the sports a lot, it was kind of like not very manly, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
So like you didn't want to be at practice getting ridiculed if you wanted to go try out for the drama club or some shit.
Yes.
I really wanted to, which is like, kind of as that peer pressure sort of thing. Like you want to do that, but you want to blah blah blah. It's like, okay, we'll play football, guys.
Was that always something that was part in you then, like the artistic part of it, and also what maybe drew you to want to become a wrestler is the ability to act, perform, create?
Yeah, it was definitely the creative things. Like I was never, I'm not like, I never like my, it wasn't, sorry, I never came from like a musical family really. So like, it's not like I really played instruments or anything. It was not really like encouraged either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I never really got into music. I mean, I got into music like everyone does, but I never got to actually playing it. Like it really took me a while because I always had like all these thoughts in my head and creations I wanted to do. Like I just never had any sort of outlet to do it. You know what I mean?
At what point did you get into professional wrestling?
I didn't get into wrestling till 2006. I was about 25 years old at the time. I was going through what I like to call my midlife crisis.
Yeah.
You're 25. You're like, you kind of done the whole party phase, the whole college parties, the high school parties, yada yada yada. You had a few years going to the bars and this, that, blah blah blah. And it's just like, what do I want to do? What's going to make me happy? No matter how much I try to put off wrestling and just being a phase, it never was. It was something that, that captivated me since I was like 10, 11 years old. And like for a period of time, I was like kind of a closet wrestling fan, except for a couple of my friends who were fans too. But like it wasn't a cool thing until later on in high school and like the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars and like,
when it was cool with everybody. Suddenly, all of your friends that would always make fun of you before, or would have made fun of you for being a wrestling fan if they knew, suddenly they're all huge wrestling fans too, because Stone Cold.
Oh yeah. Like I was the one watching Monday Night Raw and Monday Nitro, then all of a sudden like the NWO pops up and everyone's watching every Monday night. We're gathering, we're gathering, dozens of people or so to watch, go flip between Monday Night Raw and Monday Night Show, and if it was football season, Monday Night Raw, Monday Night Football, and Night Show, so.
People will never understand if they weren't around watching wrestling back then. I mean, they've made a million documentaries about it at this point. It's been talked about to death, but to be in that time where you're flipping channels back and forth, and they really were competing because as soon as it got boring, you're flipping the channel back to the other show. So you had to constantly be on point, and it really created great TV.
Sure. Yeah, well, it was also kind of a point there, too. You also kind of start recognizing certain patterns that they have, so you tune in at certain times. Like, you always know that, like, Goldberg was going to be the main event of the second hour of Nitro, so we kind of, like, watch Raw to a certain point, but then you flip back over to Nitro because Goldberg was coming up or some shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or if like after the first hour, there's like some Hulk Hogan interview, you'd flip over to Raw because Raw was coming on. So the Hulk Hogan interview was just him and Bischoff blabbing for 20 minutes.
That's exactly it. Yeah, it was really cool. So you went to Dan Severn. You were trained by Dan Severn or his training school. Tell me about that.
Yeah, Dan Severn's Mission Sports Camps. Dan wasn't really the trainer per se. He was the owner of the building and blah, blah, blah. My main trainer was Josh Abercrombie or Josh Raymond, who some people may or may not know from, the short-lived Wrestling Society X, part of the Trailer Park Boys.
Funny how that Wrestling Society X. That was
really cool concept. Really cool concept. And then he was also part of the original House of Truth and Ring of Honor in 2009. But then injuries, and then he started a family. He's still training guys. He still wrestles every now and again. But he was an awesome trainer. Like, I credit so much of what I do and how I think to him. But then there's also CJ Otis, who spent some time over in All Japan, and he was a Severn graduate too. What was that? Gotcha. But yeah, he was a big part of my training too. And then in my early years too, Jimmy Jacobs was a sort of mentor to me, and now he's one of the writers for WWE. So like those guys, I would say, were like the three that like really helped mold my mentality towards wrestling. But primarily, Josh was my trainer.
Was Dan ever around, or was he just kind of collecting that paycheck? I mean, did he pop in at all?
He was around sometimes, and sometimes he'd run the class and whatnot. But like he was also a busy dude, like doing his seminars for amateur wrestling, like in Arizona, and doing like police seminars and like his fights and his other bookings. Sometimes he wouldn't even be at his home for like 2 weeks at a time. Like he just had a super busy schedule.
Did he infuse any kind of MMA training, or did you feel like you got any kind of extra special technique or grappling or anything at all from being at a Dan Severn school that maybe other people didn't learn?
Oh yeah, like the thing was what attracted me to the Severn school was like his facility. They had dormitories in quotations, and people can't see me doing the finger thing. But it was more like they're pretty much either the equivalent of a boot camp brig, or not brig, but like boot camp sort of dormitories or jail, pretty much. Just big long room, cement, bunk beds, maybe a TV. Yeah. So like I actually lived there for about a year and a half or so, and just living there, and living in the gym. I just kind of met people, and I started training in the MMA stuff for conditioning, and especially at that time it was 2006, so 2007. So at that point, like UFC was fucking exploding at that time, and the influence definitely falling over into pro wrestling, and with the expansion of the internet too, and like YouTube and whatnot, the Japanese style, which is very heavily athletically martial arts kind of based, it was kind of the thing to do. It's like, okay, if I'm gonna be a pro wrestler, then I should definitely be doing this, because guys like Daniel Bryan, who was Bryan Danielson at the time, or Davey Richards, or some of the guys who I held in the highest esteem, and rightfully so. Like they had influence, like they're like the best in the world. Like, okay, then I need to do that if I want to get to a certain level I want to get to. If they're doing it, I should do it too.
Now, I got 2 follow-ups for that. First one, about the Japanese style. Are you still rocking the Nakamura haircut?
I'm not. I'm a short hair guy now, man.
It's buzzed down completely?
Well, it's a little shaggy now. I got a haircut like 2 months ago, and my hair grows like ridiculously fast. But
right on. And then on the USC talk, by the time this airs, we'll already know. But who do you got in the Ronda Rousey Amanda Nunes fight tonight?
Amanda Nunes is no joke, but Rousey is looking like a fucking beast, dude. Jesus, but she was, whatever she was lacking in the preparation for her Holly Holm fight, she was not lacking for this fight tonight. So I'm kind of waiting.
That's what I'm reading to and hearing, but it's so hard to pick because Rousey's a beast. She, like you said, she's an animal. But she had a great career up until that one fight. But was she exposed with that one fight, or was it a fluke? Because Holly Holm was a fluke. I mean, she didn't go on to do shit. She's already
she lost the title in defense. Yeah,
and
I don't think it was a fluke.
An animal. She's tough, very tough.
Oh yeah. I don't think the Holly Holm fight was a fluke. Because honestly, I was having conversations with guys about this. Like, has anyone ever? I mean, granted, most of her fights never went more than 2 minutes, anyways.
Yes.
But has anyone ever seen Rousey even throw a kick?
Holly picked her apart. Technically, she kicked her ass. It wasn't a fluke.
And that knockout kick too, man. Just from my experience, and not that I'm not a great kickboxer or anything, but that kick, how she kicked it right between her arms. Anyone who knows any sort of thing about defense in martial arts, whatever, you do not, if you're getting thrown down like that, you do not leave your arms that wide open. You just left a big window, and guess what happens? Bang! Right there, so I'm curious. I don't think it was fluke. I just think she just had superior striking skills, and everyone kind of already knew what Rousey's game was. She's going to come charge you like a bull, try to get her grips on you, judo toss you, and go for that armbar.
Right. Now, do you think Nunes will still have the same game plan? Because she's kind of a striker, too.
I'm sure she will. So I think everyone, it's been over a year now, and no one's really seen Rousey do anything. So, but that's the other thing too. What's Rousey been doing? Has she been improving her striking? Has she learned from that? I mean, she's clearly keeping in the fucking gym, more than when she's usually. So it's hard to say, man. But I mean, Rousey's a once in a time athlete, man. Top, she's world class, and all these girls are world class now. No doubt about that. So it'll be interesting.
What are your thoughts on CM
Punk? Everyone gives him a lot of shit for losing to Mickey Gall in 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Anyone who's seen Monday Night Raw from Chicago probably already knows about Stephanie's line. But here's the thing, too, about that, right? The fight that Mickey Gall had to get to fight with CM Punk against another, professional MMA fighter who was a strictly MMA guy.
Yes.
He did the exact same thing to that guy and got him done in 45 seconds. Punk lasted 2 minutes. And then, what was it, Joe Stevenson? I forget who Gall fought the second time, but he did the exact same thing to him. It was the second round, but Mickey Gall was world class. I can't think his fault that.
And that's part of it. Guys lose quick. Guys have lost quicker and more horribly. But at the same time, if Mickey Gall is... Mickey Gall could go on to be a big dog, and I think he will be. He went to the second round with Sage Northcutt. But he still won. He still won, and he still kind of kicked his ass. It was a little bit more of a scrap, but he won.
Every professional fight he's had, he's got everyone in that rear naked choke. Everybody.
Yeah, so in 2 years, history could show, Punk's, there's no shame in losing to Mickey Gall. He's the next fucking huge star.
He's the next multiple champ. There's no doubt about that. The kid's amazing. And the thing too is, I was a very big supporter of Punk. I figured, he's going to need 2 years anyways without the injuries and surgeries that he had, to get to it, to get prepared enough for that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as soon as I heard Mickey Gall was a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, it's he's fucked. Like, you know, I train jiu-jitsu now, and like my instructor's a brown belt, and it's just not even fair. You know,
You can't replace the years, no matter how hard you train.
No. Like, yeah, he's only been a professional for 4 fights, or whatever. But be a brown belt usually at minimum, unless you just freak, that's at least 8 years of training. So he's been doing that for at least 6 to 8 years from the time he's like 15 years old. You know, and Punk has been doing it off and on for like a decade. There's a big difference there, you know.
Right, absolutely. So, switching gears, what was your first match and how did it go?
My first match was against one of my training partners. His name's Idle Hines. It was in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Actually, I debuted in the UP, which was kind of cool, on Friday the 13th, July 2007.
Nice.
And as far as first matches go, I mean, I definitely look at those matches now. I know that they're not good, but considering all things considered, it wasn't that bad. You know, like we didn't really screw up too much. No one got hurt. And, dude, get a cough ball.
Sorry.
All things considered for a first. Yeah, right. All things considered for a first match, it wasn't bad, but it certainly wasn't good either. You know, especially where my mindset is now on things. You know what I mean?
Were you guys both at the same level? You said it was somebody that you trained with, or one of your trainers?
It was the one I trained with. He was there, I think, about 6 months to a year before me. And I trained for about 6 months before my first match. And it was one of his first 4 matches or something at that time. Like, I was a pretty quick study. Like, I was real athletic as it was, and I already kind of the quote unquote smart marks. So I kind of knew what was going on, but I didn't. So like I advanced pretty quickly actually.
So once you got an athletic background, you can physically do whatever they need you to do as long as you're taught it properly. It's it's quick to pick up on, and then you just got to kind of learn the psychology, and you're in the game.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I mean, like a lot of stuff, like like running and jumping and lateral movements, I had to be an athlete for my whole life. You know, so like, and just being a huge wrestling fan and being like I was getting into indie stuff like back in like the early ECW days. I was like reading about and like trying to find indie tapes and stuff. So like I kind of was already pretty deep into it, anyways, and like I was already kind of studying as a student for a couple of years before I even got into wrestling. Especially, when Tough Enough came off and they kind of, I hate saying expose the business, but kind of like showed you the ropes per se, actually.
Right, yeah, it was kind of that.
And that insight and like kind of, yeah, for sure. It's like, oh, okay. And like, watching that, just like, watching that, it's like, oh shit, man, I can do that. I know I can do that. And it says it all took was finally having the balls to go and do it.
What were some of the bigger names that you've had the chance to work with over the career? I know a couple like Rhino, Sabu, anybody else, and what was that like?
Well, we'll go back to the beginning of my career. Like after my first match with Idle Hines or whatever, like that was like I said, July 13th of 2007. On August 8th of 2007. I wrestled Violent J and Too Tough Tony at an IWA Mid-South show.
No shit. I think I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, my 5th match, man.
Okay, well, I know there's people that are ICP fans that'll probably listen. So what the fuck was that like? And did you know, like, were you aware of who he was, or did it matter to you at all?
No, yeah. Like, like I was, when I was like 14, 15, 16, ICP was kind of the rage, but it was, yes. Kind of like 14, 15, 16, like, the dick and fart humor of it all kind of was appealing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but, so I knew who he was and whatnot, but the match itself was, the whole thing was pretty nerve-wracking. Like I said, it was my 5th match. It was in my first month, touring as a pro wrestler, so.
Were they good with you, or were they a little bit rough with you, or?
Well, here's the thing. We get there and we get told, we're just, me and the dude, we're just, IWA Mid-South is a pretty high profile indie, especially at the time.
Yep.
But like I was like I said, my first month in, like I was with a buddy of mine. He was just trying to break into the gym. He'd been doing it for like 6 years, 7 years or something. And we were sitting there waiting to do our match, and Violent J and Chief Tony right there. And we get, okay, they're gonna be here in 15 minutes. Okay, they're gonna be here in 10 minutes. Okay, they're gonna be here in 20 minutes. So they show up about 10 minutes before we're supposed to go out there. And like I said, like I was really young, I was really green in wrestling, I'm like, they're talking about going out there and calling on the fly. Like, if I was with my trainer or some people that I worked with, in training, like I could go out and listen to them and do it on the fly. I don't know fucking shit about these guys. I don't want to fuck up this opportunity to, get a spot with IW Mid-South. So we were sitting there fucking talking, like, oh yeah, but we'll go out there and call on the fly, bro. And like, Tony will hit you with his fucking move, and I'll hit you. Speaking to me, I'll hit you with my spike. And like, and he's like kind of in motion, like a body slam thing. I'm like, well, what do you mean your spike? He's like, spike, man, spike. I'm like, Michinoku driver, Steiner screwdriver. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm like neck broken, my first fucking, what the hell?
Yes.
But it ended up being a Michinoku driver, and then we ended up going out there, and I pitched like an idea because I'm smaller than Violent J, so like I try to body slam. It's on YouTube if people want to check it out.
But yeah, like that match is on YouTube.
Yeah, you can find it. Violent J Tony versus Bryan Skyline and Keith Cream, IW Mid-South. Just YouTube. I shared on my couple of my Facebook accounts in the last month or so, because it was kind of one of those looking back, like holy crap sort of things, So
now IWA Mid-South has a lot of hardcore to it. You were never really much of a hardcore wrestler, though I do see that. I mean, it looks like you were in one of those recent deathmatch tournaments. What are your thoughts on like hardcore matches and that sort of thing, and why was that not something you really did much of?
Well, I was always over the, like I was always like one of the guys I always liked. Even though I was a big ECW fan, like the guys I liked there were always the technical guys. Like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels were my guys growing up and whatnot. So I was just always where I wanted to mold myself to be, and like until I learned later on what hardcore and deathmatch wrestling was, I didn't want anything to do, because I didn't want to get scarred up. I didn't want to be like pigeonholed into that. And like when I eventually did do a deathmatch, I did it because like I've seen so many fucking fat milk bag motherfuckers. Guys are getting fucking plane tickets and flying, and who couldn't wrestle their way out of a wet paper bag. Doing it, and I realized like what the tricks of the trade were to that sort of thing. So I want to like dip my toe into a little bit, because I knew I could do it better than these motherfuckers.
So you're essentially saying a bunch of fat schlubs are getting paid to do this. I can do this better than them and cash in on it. Cash in on the people that like to book that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, I mean like, and I'm not. I can't say exact numbers or anything, but it's like, say a guy got paid $50 for a regular wrestling match, and they tear the fucking house down with their fucking ability and their skill. Some fat, useless motherfucker who couldn't wrestle way out of paper bag just because they're willing to believe for no real good reason other than just because it's a death match, you get paid like $150, $200. Yep. So yeah, that was the kind of thing. And then like there's other things too. And like after a while, I kind of got into a mentality for the mentality of Terry Funk did it. Am I better than Terry Funk? I mean, it's probably not the best role model to have, but at the same time, he's a legend and he's the man. So
yeah, and he had almost like a whole, I would say second career, but it was probably more like a third career as a hardcore guy.
In the
70s, he was a legit wrestler. I mean, a brawler, but I mean, never.
Well, when he first started, he was like a legit. When he first won like the NWA title, he was a legit like technical guy. Then he got to get into the brawler thing, and then he became like an extreme wrestler and shit.
Right. Yeah. So, talk about your start getting involved with UPW. You were on the very first show that I promoted with UPW. How did you get involved with that, and why did you end up staying? Or tell me a little bit about that.
What happened, I believe, was I was wrestling down in Green Bay, and Peter B. Beautiful was in the crowd that night, and I wrestled. I think it was one of my first times wrestling with Silas Young, and we tore the house down, and he met you, and like that all came together. And yeah, he booked me at TW3 for the American title, and in the main event with TW3 and X-Pac, with me and Silas Young.
Yeah, man. I mean, I loved the way that you guys were working together. When I did the PWR thing, what I wanted to do was use him, even though it was like a heel versus heel thing. I wanted to use him to turn you into a babyface. And I thought the way that, and I mean, you know, I didn't give you guys shit for directions because it's not it's not.
I didn't want to took it anywhere. So.
You guys told a story, man. You guys really did bring that to life, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like you weren't around, so you had moved back to Grand Rapids or whatever at the time. But like, yeah, me and him, was it 2 years ago, I think, for UPW, we did the 60-minute Broadway and whatnot. So like, we pretty much, except for like that, I think that first PWR show we had the round robin thing, which we only did like about 10 minutes. I don't think me and him have really done anything less than 15 to 20. You know.
Yeah.
Like we really gelled, and like I said, we had the same mentality. Like I always gave him his respect for being the veteran, but like he was always receptive to my ideas. You know, he knew I was talking about, and why I always had a reason why we would do it this way. You know.
When you say that you guys had a different idea of how wrestling should be, and not a huge fan of the Wisconsin scene, without mentioning any names, because I really don't want to do that, but to me, and I want to see if you agree, I follow the scene, you know, through all the Facebook and everything, and it seems like I see a lot of people that don't look like wrestlers, and they look like they're playing wrestlers, and I know that's a huge criticism that like Vince gets, like, and smaller guys and whatnot can work, but I look at the flyers, like, you know, to me, like, if you're going to walk through a mall and you see a wrestling flyer, does that person make you want to go see that show? Because you don't know these indie guys a lot of times.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know, my thing on that whole scene is, like, where me and basically when you start learning wrestling, like, everyone kind of gets the 7 steps of a basic match. And basically, even from the quote-unquote veterans, or the 40-milers, really, of the Wisconsin scene, they would pretty much do, like, a 7-step match and then some weird-ass, cross-legged, spinning, fucking super indie thing there.
Yep.
Like, where me and Silas, we got what... It was true.
The super indie flip driver.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. For a 2 count.
And then he gets him with the roll up.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, yeah. There's so many guys do that. Like, we'll have a roll up finish after I hit you with like 19 fucking this thing. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Even with your finish. Well, like me and Silas, like, you get to a certain point, like, where you get away from like the 7 steps and you kind of start constructing things like a 3-act play. You know, we have like everyone, like, you have to have a start, a middle, and a finish, and that's kind of all part of the 7 steps. But like, you kind of have a reason why you're doing this stuff in the beginning. So you want that to dovetail at the end, and you want the stuff in the middle makes the stuff in the beginning makes sense. So it makes that ending so much more awesome, just like a good movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I mostly did mine to be like a web show, and I remember like you and Silas. And Tommy was really good with that too, like playing to the camera. So like, made sure that we captured the emotion of what was going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So a lot of things a lot of indie guys don't really get. Like, even how often they watch like Monday Night Raw and will bitch about Monday Night Raw. It's like, well, why are you bitching about this? Oh, this angle suck, whatever. How about you watch what these guys are doing? Watch how they find the hard camera. Watch how they find the ground cameras. You know what I mean? Like, even like Finn Balor, for example, admitted that, like, you know, because he worked in New Japan, and they weren't very, you know, they're very much more a live event based sort of company. like when he got to NXT, like he was blown away about how much attention to detail goes into working those cameras and depicting the emotion. Because like there's always the saying where Vince McMahon will always tell you like your money's made here, and then he'll do like a box around your face. That's how you show that emotion. Because like most people don't understand what the hell's going on. No one knows what a Death Valley driver feels like. No one knows what a pile driver feels like. It's your body language and the expressions that you show to the crowd. And when you have cameras around, you're playing to an audience, either watching on YouTube, watching on television, or whatever. They have to understand, and you do that through your facial expressions. You have to make sure you get to those cameras. So if you're not only just playing to the audience that's at the live event, you're playing to the audience that's watching you through whatever means.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you ever had any kind of major injuries or anything throughout your career?
I've had some neck problems over the last couple of years or so. I'm pretty sure I got a degenerative disc in my neck. I have a friend who's a sports therapist. I kind of told him what was going on, but that's kind of a thing that happens in being a full contact athlete or whatever. And actually, just a couple of months ago, it was like really killing me. Like it was like losing feeling in my left leg, or like it was burning constantly. But then like one day I was just laying in bed and like my neck was just bothering me, and like whatever I did was kind of like tilted my neck back and squeezed my shoulders together, and like something popped. Like all of a sudden everything felt better again. So I probably had a bulging disc or something.
You got to get on that. You got to get on that DDP yoga.
I do yoga actually pretty regularly. I don't do the DDP stuff, but like it's basically all the same anyways. DDP is a little bit different. It's more conditioning based, but other than that, bumps and bruises. Broke my nose a few times. Separated my shoulder real early on. Yeah, nothing real major. Like I mean, I got my sciatic nerves all fucked up, but like yoga has helped out a lot. Just kind of getting good posture and keeping that pressure off your spine makes a big difference.
Have you ever done any like extra work for WWE or anything like that?
No. I haven't. I kind of shot myself in the foot on that a little bit because me and a certain midget from Wisconsin don't get along with WWE for a few years.
I hear that about him often, though.
Yeah, it's always funny too. He always told me like, I want to stand. Why do people want to book you and make you wrestle? You suck, this, that, the other thing. This is when he never saw me wrestle either. And then he saw me and he's kind of like kissing my ass and shit. Like, oh, you actually know what you're doing. He's like, yeah, I do, fuckhead. But like everyone was kissing his ass because they could get that extra work, and I didn't kiss his ass.
So you kind of had to go through his filter?
Yeah, pretty much, especially out of Wisconsin, for like Green Bay, Chicago, Minneapolis loops and whatnot.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah, and like I know guys got it through Severn a few times, but I was already away from that area, so like I never really got a chance to get it through him either. So.
Right on. Would you go there and be a rosebud? Would you have done that?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Let's get $200 a day in catering? Come on.
Catering alone is worth it.
Oh, hell yeah, man. You get to work out, like, the way I understand now, like, Mondays, you pretty much, you spend most of your day working out and talking to William Regal, and then Tuesdays, or Monday or Tuesday, you could either get some extra work, either being someone's bump dummy or, it's like a random security guard. And sometimes guys on Tuesdays would get the dark match. I mean, it's probably a little different now because SmackDown's live as well. But, I mean, definitely like a year ago it was like that. So it's like, okay, you're going to pay me and feed me to hang out with William Regal and do stuff for WWE. $200 a day. Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, and it's a foot in the door. I mean, it could be nothing, it could be something, but at least it's that chance,
Yeah, for sure, man.
What was behind the Trailer Park Prince character, and it just kind of talk about like what you were projecting as a character before that, why you decided to change, and what the Trailer Park Prince is or was.
Well, for the longest time, like I was just like a wrestler, whether I was, like the unbeatable Bryan Skyline you guys had me doing for a while, which was, pretty decent for the local live crowd or whatever. And then like I went with the limited edition because it was a cooler name, I thought. But what it really came down to is like, pro wrestling is always a reflection of something that's going on in pop culture. And like the thing is, like the best characters are always guys who are it's something that's like a part of them. And like because we kind of brainstorming about what I wanted to do and how could I establish those two things. What's going on in pop culture, but it's still like part of my life. It's like I can't be like a Bruno Mars guy. I have no idea what the hell Bruno Mars lives in his life. Like I'm a fucking kid from the backwoods, With that said, like, what's been one of the most popular TV shows of the last 6 years? The Walking Dead. Who's like the most popular character off The Walking Dead? Daryl Dixon. And his brother Merle was one of my favorite characters on the show too. I was like, okay, wait, they were some backwood rednecks. The trailer, like they had like kind of like trailer trash. With my family life and I come from a broken home and whatnot. It's like, I relate to those guys. Like those are guys that, I can kind of like live vicariously through because like I kind of experienced the things that they went through. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. This is a big thing in pop culture. It's something that I can relate to. So I can project that as a character. And it's not just some dude in fucking, short shorts with tassels on them. You know what I mean?
The fucking tassels. I used to love the tassels on commentary.
Oh, yeah, that was the point, dude. I wanted people to make fun of the tassels.
Anytime I did commentary over one of your matches, I would point out the tassels. I had to.
Yeah, not a lot of people did the tassels. There's probably a reason for it, but you got to try to find something to stand out with,
Where were you at in your career when you decided to do that, and more like specifically your tenure with UPW? Like you were at that first show, we touched on that. You never really left. You're at almost all the shows, I would say. What was the run like there?
It was good, man. I was definitely at a point from that first show on, like I was definitely at a point where like I knew I was better than everyone on the show for the most part.
Yeah.
And I think anyone who actually gives a damn about themselves as a professional wrestler has to reach that point. So you need that chip on the shoulder. I would definitely say they were the first guys who really gave me that main event opportunity, even though I always thought I deserved it, from especially these smaller indie shows in, Michigan, Wisconsin area. And I just definitely took that and just kind of ran with it. And I was the guy, with the quote unquote secondary title who was main eventing every goddamn show.
When I was there, I pushed hard for you. I mean, Pete was on board with you too. I'm not saying I had anything to do with it.
No, he definitely was.
You were, I mean, clearly, like you and Tommy were probably the two that I thought were the two top guys there. I wanted to see the American title become on par with the UPW title, where either one of them could make it, and that's kind of.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the UPW American title, when I had it at any point superseded the UPW heavyweight title, no doubt.
I played hot potato, and you kept yours. It gave credibility.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so I always had a contention with Pete, like, how can you do this for your heavyweight title? Like, why does everyone think this title is important? You keep hot potatoing it,
It's still gets hot potato.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like it was like, and the thing is like I said, I main evented probably. Yeah, I know for a fact I main evented more shows as the American champion than anyone else in that company. And actually, even if I didn't have the title, I was fighting for that title in main events against like Sabu or Dysfunction. I definitely made that title the most important title there, which it's fucking fake sports, so it doesn't really matter. But at the same time, you gotta have that. You gotta make a championship important. You don't give a title to someone to get them over. someone has to be over, and then they get that title over and make it important. People actually care about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then, well, at least to establish the credibility, then maybe it can carry somebody here and there. But for the most part, it's got to hold its credibility, and you definitely did that.
Yeah, and you got to create a championship atmosphere. And you can't have that. It's fucking changing every fucking month, you know?
Well, and, you know, to play devil's advocate, such is life booking the indies, too. Because people cancel all the goddamn time and things change.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can't necessarily bank on things long term. Now, you know, you're kind of. I still think it gets passed around more than it should. But, you know, for instance, I think there was a recent show where Joseph Shores couldn't show up. And I mean, he was like in the main event or something. So it's like, when that kind of shit happens.
There's a whole other thing about that, but we won't go into that.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah. So I guess what happened with UPW? I don't want to get into any dirt, but like, you said you're not working with them anymore, so probably not on good terms. What
happened? Creative differences. Dealing with them for 6 years, and my vision of wrestling was to hopefully do, you know, the cliche now, best for business, and actually try to grow the fucking. Where we'll go back to the whole plain wrestler or plain booker sort of thing. Was definitely more important to the guys in charge there. I definitely thought we, you know, especially a small community, small area, we probably could have done a lot more than we did. These guys they were more worried about, I can say it, I booked Sabu versus Rhino on a show, or I'm a wrestling guy in fucking Escanaba, you know. That was more important than actually expanding the quote-unquote territory, which I think...
Putting the UP on the map.
Yeah. I mean, I always looked at UPW and UT Under the Lights Entertainment, and I would just shake my head because, guys, there's two fat kids who didn't want to share toys in the sandbox. If you think about it, these guys are running, you know, shows within, you know, 2 hours of each other, and they're between the combination of them, they're running like 30 some odd shows a year.
You're saying combined forces would have been a smart idea?
Yeah, absolutely. It was like down in Green Bay. There's like between Green Bay and Oshkosh, there's like 4 promotions. And they all use the same guys, different promotions. Everyone wants to play booker.
Yeah, but then who's the boss? You know what I mean?
Exactly. But I mean, well, here's the thing. You know why people chanted ECW? Because ECW was the thing, right? So what separates WPW from ACW, from, you know, whatever? They're all the same fucking guys. They're all running the same fucking towns. So why don't you just put your fucking, quit playing the fucking big dick game and fucking get together, combine, settle on one fucking name. Cause that's what's going to draw people. You know, like WrestleMania, you really don't. WrestleMania doesn't need. You can't put like, you know, fucking not Carlito, but like one of the Colognes from a tag team against, you know, the fucking Ellsworth guy they got going now. Put that as your WrestleMania main event. But at the same time, WrestleMania is the draw itself. You know, it's the promotions themselves that are more of the draw because people want to be a part of something. You have several different things going on. You're not a part of something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Here's a couple thoughts to add to that, though. Creatively, or even what's best for the territory, even more, you know, or best for business.
Yeah.
I think you're on point with that, but at the same time, like running a promotion, you know, even though mine didn't go far, I mean, I got UPW off the ground, I did all the concerts. I mean, that kind of shit, you can't have too many cooks in the kitchen with that kind of thing. You have to have one leader with one direction, which means if these groups were to get together, somebody's going to have to concede to the other unless they all can just agree on what's an awesome idea, which is super hard to do because you're butting heads with
everyone,
people over creative.
Right. Well, the thing is too, man. Like the worst. I'm sure you dealing with me. You probably heard this plenty of times. I will fucking tell you if you have a stupid idea or not. Now,
which is why I always went to you with every. I mean, you were kind of like my wrestling guy. You know, you were like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a wrestler, so
sure.
you're the wrestler. Is this gonna work or no? I always went to you.
Well, I always think too, and like this is why I always got kind of pissed off about things when guys, you know, like I don't expect you to think. Like, I know not all of my ideas are gonna be fucking gold, and like no one's ever will be. But like, you know, it's like I think my opinion probably should stand out more than others just based off of my body of work. Like, there's a reason why you put me in main events. It's the reason why if I'm not in the main event, I'm still in the fucking show. You know what I mean? There's a reason for that, you know. So I think I have a better idea of my thumbs on the pulse a little bit better than most people. You know, not that, like I said, not all my ideas will be goals. You know, I definitely need collaboration. You know, there's definitely, you know, two minds working on something, you know, can troubleshoot and, you know, hopefully find the proper medium to, you know, get an idea over. But at the same time, like, you know, people do got to put their egos aside and, like, you know, hey, you know what? That is a dumb idea. What was I thinking?
Well, here's a real hard question for you because, I mean, as long as I've known you, me and you have gotten along great. You know, I don't think we've ever, you know, we've maybe talked over, had disagreements over storylines or something. We've always gotten along great. But
oh, yeah, for sure.
You kind of almost like on the outs or like blacklisted from pretty much like all the major like regional promotions. It seems like you don't get along with the different promoters or bookers. What's the deal there?
Not really. I've never, you know, like IW Mid-South, I've always had a good relationship. I was supposed to be in the
I didn't necessarily consider the invitation. I'm more thinking like you
other places it's hard to get into, you know?
Wisconsin areas and stuff like that.
It's one of the smaller promotions, honestly.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And blackball or blacklist, that is the fucking dumbest fucking thing I ever hear anyone ever fucking say. It's fucking indie wrestling. You can go fucking to anyone, and eventually if it makes someone a fan of yours, you're gonna get fucking booked. It's
Do you work downstate at all?
What's that?
Do you work downstate at all?
I haven't in a few years.
What do you think of what John Campbell's doing?
I like what he's doing. I'm not too big on some of the talent that he uses, but I really do like John. I know his heart's in the right place, and he's actually doing something kind of cool. Like he's kind of bringing a little old school Memphis to the area and whatnot. And like I said, I'm not too big on the talent that he uses, but like his ambition, like getting like a TV in different areas, you know, and like shopping and stuff around it. That's pretty awesome. And anyone who kind of shits on him, I understand why they shit on him because the talent that he uses sometimes is kind of the shits. But you know, fuck, man, you can't fault a guy for having ambition.
And he's putting it on the internet. And that was my whole idea from the beginning. I think all of these indie feds locally have it completely wrong. I think.
Oh, totally.
I think
totally, man.
Just doing it for the house show is fun, but I think the key is getting video content and making some sort of a web show, a web series.
Oh, well, dude, it's all about content. Look at the world's coming to, man. It's Netflix, it's Hulu, it's WWE Network, it's UFC Fight Pass. Everything's becoming niche. There's so much stuff to watch now. You have to find your fucking niche. You have to be able to expand, or not expand, but like find your niche and get it out to as many people as fucking possible. And you can do that with the internet. You gotta have something. You just can't be, you know, just your average fucking indie show that you learn in fucking pro wrestling school 101. You know, you have to have something that's a little bit different, and you have to, and it's all about content. All about content. Look what Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are doing just with their YouTube stuff. How much they're getting themselves more over, and they're over as fuck.
Who do you got in that main event? Omega versus.
I'm an Omega mark, dude. I've loved Kenny Omega for years now. Yeah, and I think with New Japan possibly expanding internationally into the United States, North America, like he's the guy to do it. And he is on fire right now. Like he is like one of the best promos definitely, and he's a match of the year factory. You know, as he calls himself, actually, like his match night, you know, from G1 Climax this year was fucking unreal. And like every match he has is always like a potential match of the year candidate, especially singles match anyways. And you can't really. Sometimes they do like those 8-man, 10-man tags in New Japan and shit all the time. But yeah, that's probably like the one thing that's really got me excited was pro wrestling. So I've been kind of disenfranchised with it for the last year or so. So
yeah, I can I can see why for sure. Last couple questions here for you, Brian. What was your favorite match and or angle that you had?
Huh. Well, definitely going 63 minutes of Silas is up there because I was like always one of my goals is doing a 60-minute Broadway because that always showed that you were a wrestler's wrestler. Anyone who can do the 60 minutes, not to say that if you don't do it, you're not a wrestler's wrestler. I know guys who haven't done it but are still phenomenal wrestlers, but it's always kind of like, you know, the Ric Flair mark, you know what I mean?
Right.
You have to definitely do that. The 203 Falls match I had with TW3 in UPW was a pretty big highlight. We definitely put, well, I want to say we structured the match, but it was more I structured the match in a certain way. Not that Tommy didn't have his contributions. I don't want to shit on Tommy in that way, any form. But like when it came to that, like he'll admit too. Like he always would like let me call the shit. You know, like we put the stuff together. But like when we had like Rhino, the pop that Rhino got at the end of that match, just like blew the fucking roof off the Delph at the time. You know, so that was definitely a moment.
Yeah, he was a surprise that night, I believe.
Yeah, and the way how everything kind of fell together with that feud that me and Tommy were having, like the little sidebar feud I was having with Rhino, like, you know, that story came together, and like I said, how I structured it. And I said Tommy has contributions too, but like it was he always sending me this stuff, bud. Excuse me. That was definitely one. Even though it never happened, getting over in the Battle Royal / elimination match to get into the Ted Petty Invitational was definitely a highlight too. Unfortunately, it never happened. I don't know, there's lots of stuff. And the ladder match I had with Joey Avalon for UPW about a year or so ago was pretty awesome too, even though I kind of regret the finish looking back on it. The package pile driver off the apron to a ladder table should have been just that, you know. But yeah, those are probably like my big, like it was probably it's probably one of the sickest ideas I ever came up with. It was super fucking easy too. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, we probably should have just.
Is Joey a good worker?
Yeah and no.
Okay.
He's very backyardish, and like some of his fundamentals are kind of flawed, but like he's easy to work with at the same time, and he has good ideas.
Right on.
Just he's kind of unorthodox because, like I said, like Wisconsin, not the best team. Training is not always the best there,
and that's kind of what I meant about the way that they look on the poster too. I think it kind of reflects in the ring too, a little backyardish in style.
Yeah.
Isn't that like the case with most indie, like probably everywhere now at this point though? Just a bunch of yarders getting in. It's easy to get into the wrestling
for the most part, but you kind of shit on yarders, but then you can say that the Hardys were yarders, and now Broken Man Hardys is the most thing going right now.
Yes.
And just it all comes about really getting out there and learning new stuff, but you can't really kind of sit in one area and expect to get better. You know what I mean?
Do you like the Broken Man Hardy stuff?
Oh, dude, I love it. Absolutely fucking love it. I like it. I'm definitely a very big fan of old school wrestling, but I'm also quite aware of where the world's going. And, you know, like, as much as, like, a lot of people, I can't say I don't agree with Jim Cornette, but I disagree with him a lot more. You know, because like he's just stuck in the '80s sort of thing. You know, like cable television wrestling. Like it's a new world. You know, it's an internet world, and like
Well, I mean, look at Jim
get
Cornette
that.
when he put out forget the name now. It came out the same time ECW did. Two different his promotion and ECW, two completely different styles at the same time. You know what he thought was wrestling, still very 80s.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, right. I want to bring this up since you brought up Jim Cornette and Smoky Mountain.
Smoky
Like
Mountain.
He
Good
likes
shit in that though. Still too.
Right. He likes to shit on the Young Bucks, right? And the Super Kick Party and how it kills finishes, right? And they have these stupid gimmick matches these guys have are unrealistic. I'm doing the air quotes again, by the way. If you watch some of that Smoky Mountain stuff, like I remember watching this one Smoky Mountain on WWE Network, and like the main event was like some no DQ match where these guys hauled off like 9 straight fucking DDTs on the steel chairs for fucking 2 counts in a tar and feather match. And you're shitting on like the Young Bucks doing the Super Kick Party, dude. You booked that shit, you fucking hypocrite. What the hell's wrong with you?
He's and just trying to keep himself over.
Cabana, funny don't draw money. Jim Cornette was one of the biggest comedy guys in wrestling in his prime. Like, what the hell, dude? Like, I understand where you're coming from with your ideas and how wrestling should be presented. But Jesus Christ, dude, you know this is it's a circus show, man. We're carnies. Like, it has to be the disturbing thing, man. Like, Jesus Christ. And I think he does it mostly just as kind of like a character thing.
Yeah.
And he knows that it'll keep him relevant in some terms. Yeah. He'll gladly be the heel against fucking indie wrestling or wrestling that he doesn't like anymore. You know, so I definitely think he's working people a lot of ways. But like, no, actually, one of my favorite things with Jim Cornette, actually, he's on the Ross report. Jim Ross or whatever, and Jim Cornette shit on Lucha Underground, which I think is fucking phenomenal, by the way. Like, it's such a fresh, cool, unique approach to pro wrestling and the way wrestling is going in a lot of ways. But like he shit on Lucha Underground, and he's like doing the Ross report with Jim Ross. Jim Ross was fucking over, and Jim Cornette's fucking like speechless, which Jim Cornette is never fucking speechless.
No.
Yeah, no. But I found that fucking great.
All right. Well, anything else that you wanted to plug or talk about, or get off your chest? Just any kind of final thing at all?
I don't know, man. Like at this point in my life, I'm kind of you're never done with pro wrestling. Like I said, I'm a little disenfranchised with it right now. The only thing I'm really excited about is Okada and Omega at Wrestle Kingdom in 5 days, 6 days. Where was January 4th?
This Wednesday.
This Wednesday, okay. That's the only thing that really has me kind of excited. And Kendrick's little storyline he had going in the Cruiserweight Classic and stuff put a little spark in me too for a minute. But I just been kind of disenfranchised with indie wrestling. You know, my neck and shit was kind of fucked up there for a while. But I'm definitely not done. You're never fucking done. And you definitely will hear from me again in some form or fashion. But at this point in my life, I'm not going to say retired, but I'm definitely kind of done with wrestling for the moment. It doesn't inspire me anymore.
Just taking time off to get inspired.
Yeah, man. Like, if you're creatively stifled and you get stagnant, like, and you're not happy doing what used to make you happy, then why the fuck do it?
Yep. I went through the same thing with music, and now I'm getting back into recording new music. But
I have a friend who the same way too.
5 years.
Oh wow! Yeah, I have a friend who plays in a punk rock band, and like, you know, I told him like how I was feeling about wrestling. Like, man, that's how I feel about music right now too, man. Like, you just kind of hit this plateau, and you think you should be farther than you are, but you know it happens. But I don't know. I'm getting old, but I'm still a relatively young man. I'm still in good shape. I do jujitsu, 3-4 days a week sometimes. Like the last month has been kind of rough because of the holidays and whatnot, but that's kind of the one my focus has been on. I'm not I'm not going that CM Punk route. I'm not going to probably step into the cage. I'm talking to these guys.
That was going to be one of my next questions. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. One thing is one thing I'm actually happy about with in Michigan, like MMA finally got some like serious regulations and commission. So like you have to be like physically fit. You have to have the physical blood work done. And that's one thing too. I wish would happen with fucking pro wrestling on the indie level. I mean, I know it's entertainment. It's not quote unquote real competition, but like there's a lot of guys who do not belong in that fucking ring.
I was just gonna say that kind of regulation would weed out a lot of the.
Yeah, if you want to be a pro wrestler, then you're gonna go pay the doctor to get your physical. You're gonna get paid to get your blood work. You're gonna pay for your licensing. Promoters are gonna have to get their fucking licensing and have the proper things in line to run a show. And it might kill a lot of shows, but the ones that actually want to be a promoter or a wrestler are going to have it. And that would be better, honestly, because it would. Because a lot of indie promotions will fucking take some, like you were saying, the backyard kids who will go and sell like 50 tickets and put them in the battle royal, and they'll be jerking off over it. And that's not good. And you take away the quality and the hard work of people like myself. Like I can't emphasize how much I fucking shit on people. You did not, at UPW, some people there who have never trained at all. Like I've trained them and they got better because of me, but they refused to put in the extra effort and the same stuff in the sacrifices I put in. A lot of guys put in. It's like, that's another thing that just fucking kills it for me too. Like you say you love pro wrestling, but you're not willing to go the extra mile for it. I know that people have stuff in their lives, whether it's family, kids, this, that, the other thing. But fucking Stu Hart had 12 kids. And he, you have no excuse, dude. He had 12 fucking kids and he ran a goddamn territory. If you, I was telling a friend the other night, we kind of got into something. It's nothing to do about anything with this, but if you want to do something, you're going to fucking be there and you're going to do it. If you don't, then you're not, and don't take away things from people who want to be there. So you're wasting your time, you're wasting these people's time, you're wasting my time,
All right. Well, that sounds like a great place to end. I mean, it was great talking to you, Brian. Very informative conversation. Learned a lot about you and shit. Love to talk to you again sometime.
Yeah, man. Anytime you want me on, dude. What's your podcast called, anyways?
It's called The Underground Sound, the podcast for your mom's ass.
No, that's actually one of the better ones I've heard in a while, so dig it.
Yep. Trying to do a lot of mixed interviews with some other potpourri type stuff here and there.
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, are you just doing like wrestling, or you guys will be involved in music?
No, I got some music artists and stuff too. Just any kind of underground arts and entertainment mixed with any kind of miscellaneous nonsense.
Oh, awesome. Love it. If you need help on miscellaneous musicians, I got some guys who definitely got some fun stories. So.
All right, man. I'll keep in touch.
All right, absolutely.
That's Bryan Skyline, everybody. Have a good night.
You too, Ben. Have a good one.
Yep.